Touhou Genso Wanderer is a roguelike dungeon role-playing game, where areas are dungeons and sections are floors. It was developed by Aquastyle and published by Mediascape and NIS America. Originally, this game was launched on the PS4 in March 2017, and it's soon going to be released on the Nintendo Switch in mid-July 2018. In this game, your character is a female protagonist named Reimu, a shrine maiden of Hakure Shrine. Her duty is to resolve problems involving yokai and such. The story consists of a series of mysteries. Yes, there is more than one story. That's awesome, right? Usually what happens, there will be a situation that requires Reimu's attention, where she must investigate and solve. You travel by walking through dungeons and floors. Remember, in this roguelike dungeon RPG, each area is a dungeon and sections are floors. The floors are filled with yokai, meant to stop you from passing. While walking throughout the dungeon floors, you'll encounter traps. You don't see the traps until you step on them, and they can be random, with either positive or negative effects. Positives will make Reimu faster or invincible. Negative will make her drunk, hallucinate, confused, immobile, etc. All kinds of bad stuff. But they're very short. Now, to move on to the next floor, you need to find a magic circle. This is the exit. You don't know where it is until you're in the area. On the right side of the screen, you'll see a map. It won't show much until you discover an area. If you have a magic spell card in your inventory, you can use it to reveal the whole map of the floor, indicating the locations of enemies, items, and the magic circle. There are floors within dungeons where you can rest. These floors usually have a type of lodging where you can replenish Reimu's health and shop to buy items such as food, medicine, talismans, spell cards, etc. On these floors, you encounter characters where interaction is in a story-type scene, kind of like an anime. There's a lot of talking, and if you're not into reading dialogue and such, you can skip it after the main introduction of each character. Eventually, some of these characters will act as your partner, who will help you tremendously defeat enemies throughout the dungeon floors. When your partner's health is low, you throw medicine at them to heal. If they die, you can use a talisman to revive them. Or, if you don't have any, look for a shrine throughout or somewhere on the floor. Once you reach this shrine, poof, your partner is back. Yeah! The gameplay is a turn-based system. That means when the player takes one turn, the enemy will take another. Turns can be a move or action. An action can be using an item, changing equipment, attacking, or executing danmaku. Danmaku is like a special attack that requires P items. There are 4 types of danmaku attacks. Each requires a specific number of P items. For example, my favorite danmaku attack is the double barrier. It casts a strong attack around Reimu, damaging any enemies in the 8 spaces surrounding her. It's very gratifying and requires 10 P items. That's the most that is required, like the highest. P items can be found throughout the dungeon floors or from enemy drops. There is a P item bar at the top left. Try to use danmaku attacks as much as you can because P items are plentiful, and it's such a waste to collect them when your P item bar is full. Now, the turn-based system also affects your health and tummy. The tummy is a hunger bar. Moves replenish HP, but depletes the tummy. When the tummy reaches 0, you will lose 1 HP per turn. The tummy can be replenished from eating food items, which are found, dropped, or bought. As I mentioned before, Touhou Genso Wanderer is a roguelike RPG, which means the difficulty can spike randomly as you play. One moment you're breezing through the dungeon, and the next scene you're surrounded by enemies and die easily. It can be frustrating when you're not prepared. How do you prepare, you ask? By performing Nito fusion on items you find throughout the floors. Reimu and her partners have equipment: armor, weapons, and a charm. Equipment have empty slots that are filled with seals. Seals are extracted from items and fused to your equipment by performing Nito fusion. To utilize Nito fusion, you need Nito points, which are acquired by finding them on dungeon floors, from enemy drops, or from items dismantled by Nito fusion. Some dungeons will really limit your inventory capacity. It's random. So you get in the habit of utilizing all your items in some way instead of hoarding them for those just in case moments. Note, do not hoard your items because they are plentiful throughout the floors. You will find the same items again and again. There will be times you can't pick up items anymore. It seems a waste to leave the item on the floor. Like, you feel bad. Fortunately, you can fuse or dismantle the item right there at the spot without needing to have it in your inventory. So when you find an item and can't pick it up, perform Nito fusion and fuse it with equipment or dismantle it. Speaking of equipment, at first you get worried if you have the right equipment or if you should swap it for something better. Don't worry about it. It won't matter what kind of equipment you have after fusing with Nito fusion, because the equipment evolves, gaining fabulous abilities, like fabulous. Filling in the slots with seals gives your equipment special abilities it didn't have before. For example, I got a Z seal on my weapon, and I had the ability to temporarily put an enemy to sleep. They couldn't move, and I could attack them until they woke up or die. Plus, when your weapon levels up, those abilities get stronger. Awesome, right? Woohoo! So, fuse the heck out of your equipment. Now, we don't like dying in a game, but it will happen. It can be tedious or a blessing, because when you're defeated, your results pop up and then you will be transported back to the beginning of the dungeon. You, as the player, cannot save on a dungeon floor. You can only save on a non-hostile area. But the game autosaves at every floor you arrive at. If you don't want to go through all those floors again, restart the game before the results pop up, and you return to the magic circle of the floor you died on. The reason why I say it can be a blessing to replay a dungeon, because this gives you an opportunity to grind and level up more. Since you're stronger than you previously were, going through these floors is much easier, even when the difficulty spikes up. Yayo! So I gotta be honest, my first impression of Touhou Genso Wanderer, I did not like the game. I would get stuck in some floors because I died a lot due to being weak. I got frustrated from not being able to pick up items because my inventory was full from hoarding. Then, once I got familiar with performing Nito fusion, fusing items to my equipment and dismantling items, the game became so much smoother and more enjoyable. My equipment got more powerful and I was kicking ass, and I didn't waste any items. I was able to go through the dungeons and floors faster, as a result, progressing through the story. The story is what I looked forward to because you interact with different types of characters. The characters are so cute and adorable. When I completed the first story, I was so disappointed because I thought that was the end, and I didn't encounter majority of the featured characters. I was looking forward to meeting the Tengu. Then I waited after the credits, and she appeared! I was like, oh my god, she's here! My hope was lit on fire. It turned out one chapter ended and another was beginning, which is what I'm currently on, and I'm so excited!